Do you want to know the secret to breaking through? Hey everyone, Marty White here. Welcome to episode 93 of Marketing Siege Radio. And, I know y'all want to break through and get to the next level. You're always going after there, but how consistently is always dependent on all these different variables. So I'm pretty much going to sum it down and boil it down today. Does that sound cool? So there may be more to it than meets the eye, though. So to catch you up and to understand kind of where my mind is right now, last night I was catching up on one of my favorite shows of all time. I do set aside some time to geek out. I'm as much nerd as I'd come across to be and proud of it. So last night I was catching up on Dragon Ball Super. And, I grew up on watching Dragon Ball Z. And I remember I used to imitate all the heroes. Vegeta is my favorite. And I just remember growing up and always being so inspired by this story because it was always a positive message. And it was always like, keep going, breakthrough. There's always a next level. All these kind of themes kept playing on. So I loved it growing up. And I tried to go Super Saiyan like my whole childhood. Maybe even later than that, just like you, if you're listening to this. So I was thrilled whenever the series was revitalized with Dragon Ball Super. But anyway, I digress. One of the characters that I've always loved, but, had pretty much taken a backseat during the entire Dragon Ball Z series is, that's the one I grew up watching. And I went back and started watching from Dragon Ball. And, he was gone in all of Z except for, his comic relief moments, his old man creepy moments. It was so funny. Anyway, Master Roshi has apparently turned full badass since, he's been behind the scenes along the way. He was secretly training the whole time. He's just about as strong as the main characters at the end of it, at least so much so that he's able to compete at the Grand Xeno's tournaments with like all the universe's most powerful warriors. And he was thrashing on fools last night. He was taking out very strong opponents like the seasoned grandmaster was. He pulled out all the old tricks and was like, yes, the ones from Dragon Ball. It's like he did the evil containment wave, and I just about lost my stuff. That was just very funny to me how they would always botch the evil containment wave. Anyway, the Sleepy Boy trance that made Goku fall asleep once upon a time. And he even overcame his weakness for women, with his nose always bleeding whenever he gets excited, is turned on him as a dirty old man. But anyway, he overcame that weakness through special training. Puar helped him out. So, but he came up against this warrior. I forget the name. It was my first time watching it, from the fourth universe. And he pretty much looked like a Super Saiyan duck. Like he had a transformation and like Super Saiyan and part duck. And then Roshi got tossed around and beat up for a while. Like he kind of started winning, and then he got his butt kicked. But he ended up unleashing like his biggest ultimate Kamehameha wave blast ever. And that's kind of like, if we're just talking fighting here, that's pretty much like the big overhand right knockout punch finishing technique for the non-informed. But, and then as soon as he did it, he fell out. So, but he really said something that spoke to me right before. He said, you can watch my limitations and my limits go straight to hell. And, he defeated his opponent, and he sacrificed his life. Ultimately, he gave every ounce of energy he had left. And it looked bleak for a second there. We thought we had lost Roshi. And Goku revives him with some of his own energy. And, the two walk off. Whenever Roshi woke up, he was like, what happened to all those funky angels that were sitting everywhere? It was like the Goku and Roshi walk off back into the battlefield, reminiscing about those spunky angels that were everywhere. But it was like classic Roshi. But the moral of the story, the thing that I'm getting from it is like, you don't have to accept your perceived limitations. Whatever it is that's holding you back. I know it's been a ton of stuff for me before, but the thing that universally happens where I do this, and there's always a breakthrough as I let go of whatever I think I can't do. And then I go out and do it, and I'll watch and see how it doesn't hurt me at all. And then I become more and more empowered the more I do that. So go to that point and prove to yourself that you always have a little bit more. There's always a little bit more left in the tank. So remember, you're one upgrade away.